Dr. Sunny Fridge. Welcome to Rise and Shine with Dr. Sunny, the show that helps you unleash your inner speaking superpowers. Each week you get tips, tools, and techniques to help you become a better communicator. On this edition of Rise and Shine, learn how to get comfortable and confident on camera. Plus, I'll give you details on how to attend my free monthly Speak and Shine workshop, so stay tuned. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, share in the comments below where you're watching from. Are you listening by podcast? Subscribe so you never miss a show. And if you enjoy our programming, please consider making a donation of any amount at wytv7.org. It helps our CBN broadcasters continue the mission to bring you programming that educates, empowers, and encourages. I believe we all have a purpose and the potential to live our best life. As you up-level your speaking skills online, if you're a speaker, entrepreneur, or leader, you know it's important for you to put your best self forward. But it's not always as easy to get your message out on Facebook, YouTube, or other social media if you're camera shy. Maybe you're an introvert. Well, this show is for you. My guest is passionate about helping people discover their on-camera confidence through a 6-step formula that has helped people all over the world. Amani Channel is a broadcasting veteran, an award-winning producer, and he also works at Fox 5 in Atlanta as a creative services producer. His reports and commentaries have been featured on local and online outlets, including CNN, Fox News Channel, and National Public Radio. Welcome, Amani. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for that introduction. It makes it seem like I've done a lot in my short career.
It is so good to see you.
Likewise.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Yeah, so I'm originally from California, and that's really where I fell in love with broadcasting after I took a year off of, once I graduated from high school, I took a year off and I did more ministry work. And then I enrolled in a community college, and they had a TV radio station there. And that's where I dabbled my feet and first learned about broadcasting and radio production, television production, transferred to the University of Florida. And basically I've always worked in something media related ever since. So I got my first test of speaking on camera when I was a news reporter in Tampa, Florida. And I was still really young, and my career was like my second news job. And I thought I was ready for it. And Tampa's a fairly big market. It's just a little bit it's a little bit smaller than Atlanta, where I now live. And I just wasn't ready. I would get really nervous, anxious. I would choke. I would stumble. I would struggle. I would say, too many times to count. And I really wasn't getting any better until a mentor finally came up to me and was like, Amani, a lot of the people you work with, they talk about you bad behind your back. And I was really the laughingstock of the whole market, because Tampa's a fairly large media market. And so he worked with me. He finally helped me discover my confidence. And then I started teaching. I've done some other things throughout my career, and I really love teaching folks. So when I was thinking about what can I help folks with in terms of video, what can I teach folks? Is it editing? Is it, just the general production techniques? I was like, well, maybe there are others who might struggle with some of the same things that I did when I first got started. And so that's when I really got focused on helping people discover their confidence. And not only that, but, video marketing is so important for folks, like sharing your message, sharing your story of your business or your passion, and just using it to attract leads and clients or followers to you. Video is really, especially now that we're in this, current quarantine situation. So that's what I help people do. I've developed a framework and a formula that helps people, and it works really well. So regardless whether you're a male or female, introvert or extrovert, my formula works. So that's what I help people with on a one-on-one basis, aside from working in broadcasting currently.
And I have to tell you, I took your VideoFearless program and I got much better. I love teleprompters. One of the things that I was afraid of is, I might forget what I'm going to say. I like radio better because you don't have to deal with looking on camera. But when you're on camera, you've got to connect with your audience, right? Yeah, and that's what you were helping us all do to do it better, no matter what stage you're at in your life. Sometimes just being on camera is something that can stop people. It's a mental thing to a large degree. And so VideoFearless addresses that.
Yeah, well, there are a lot of fears. There's the fear of rejection. Fear is it's a very debilitating emotion, right? It can hold us back, right? Mm-hmm. And so there's fear of rejection. There's fear of looking stupid. There's fear of saying the wrong thing. There's fear of not being perfect. fear of what your peers are going to say. So there's a lot of fears that go into sharing yourself on camera because it's very transparent, right? I mean, even though we talk to people every day, being on camera is like we have this whole thing about television. We have to be perfect in our mind. And we're very self-critical in general too. Like we've been kind of conditioned to be very self-critical, afraid to say the wrong thing. And so those are a lot of the blocks that can prevent people from sharing their blessing, is what I call it. Because if you have a passion, if you have a service that really can help people, it's really, you owe it to share it with people, right? There might be someone you could help right now if you just shared your story with them. But, fear oftentimes will hold us back. And so that's what my formula helps people kind of overcome and realize that, hey, I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to be an expert. I can just be myself. I can be my true authentic self, share my message on camera. Like I'm not perfect right now and talking to you, and having a conversation with folks, we naturally say things, we might say things that aren't, 100% as we want them to sound, but it's more important to be your authentic self, to share your story with people, and then they'll relate to that. And the people who are meant to work with you or meant to follow you, they'll be attracted to you.
I love that. I love that. And don't worry, I'm a Toastmaster, but no grammarian, no eye counting today, because as you said, it's about being your authentic self. And part of that is if you make a mistake, you just keep going and roll with the punches. And even on your worst day, the speech that you give or the presentation you give is better than no presentation at all the majority of the time. So I want you to tell us about the 6 steps, because I love for people for the next time. I know you're currently doing a program right now, but for the next time when they can sign up for your next Video Fearless, I believe it can be a game changer for people.
Before I even get into that, I want to share, I think the last thing you said about just, showing up and sharing is better than not sharing at all. So my dad used to always say when I was a kid, he'd be like, did you do your, after, come home, take a test, and I'd be worried about the grades or whatever. He'd always say, did you do your best? And I'd be like, yeah, I did my best. He's like, well, if you did your best, the only thing you can do is learn from your mistakes, right? Mm-hmm. And so if you make a video and it's not exactly how you want it to be, I still suggest you go and put it out there, because you learn from each experience. You learn from, I'm still learning. I'm still getting better. I'm still practicing. So that's what I want to say, that it's okay. You can breathe, relax. This is not a big deal. So my 6-step formula, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
No. That was me.
Exactly. Just relax and let it out, right?
Yeah.
So my 6-step formula basically came from me kind of analyzing my own experiences with sharing my message on camera. So first of all, for anyone who really wants to put themselves out there on video, you hear about viral videos, right? Don't worry about making a viral video. It's not about that one video that gets 1 million views. You really want to be consistent and put out consistent content, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, pick your platform, and then be consistent with it, right? So people grow to know you and they expect you to go live, right? Think about Oprah Winfrey when she had her show, for my folks that are like my age and, yes, above or whatever. Yes. We remember the pre-DVR era or the pre-on-demand television where people used to tune in at 3 o'clock every day to watch Oprah, right? Why did they do that? Because they knew she was going to show up. So you have to be committed and show up for your audience. So that's the first part of my formula, is just you have to commit to making videos, because once you commit, really the other steps are going to kind of fall into place, because you're going to get that, you'll get that consistency. And with that consistency will come you getting better and being more relaxed and just being able to speak in your authentic voice. But once you commit, the second thing I suggest people do is just get some production gear, right? Because we are talking about video. Mm-hmm. So whether you're using your smartphone, using a webcam, like I believe you're using a Brio webcam right now, a Logitech. I'm using a Logitech external webcam. Get some lights. Like I'm using some lights. I always do this whenever I'm giving a presentation. Let me not knock these down, but some light is important, right?
Yes.
I want to put some light on the subject. And so get some lights, because it's gonna, you might not think lighting is important, but lighting is important, as you can see right there. And then I think the last thing you want to get is an external microphone. And so, I'm using an external microphone. I think you asked me, can you hear me, before we went on camera?
Yeah. What are you using?
I'm using a Rode microphone. It's called the NT USB mic. So that's what I'm using.
Okay.
I have a Audio Technica mic. There's a bunch of different mics out there.
Yeah,
There's
I've got a lavalier mic, and then right now I'm using the Samson G-Track Pro and experimenting. But the best thing is about having sound. I understand that people are a lot more forgiving about poor video, than they are about poor audio.
They are, because you have to remember, if you have something to say, if people can't hear you, what's the point, right? I always say that bad audio and good video is really trash, right? It's not gonna be a good video at all, because if you have a message to share, the audio and being able to hear the message is the most important thing. So you want to make sure that there's no distracting sounds, even if you don't have a microphone. Don't have distracting sounds. Don't have like the television going. Don't be outside like in a main intersection where there are sirens going off. You want to make sure you're able to communicate clearly. That's one difference with professional video production, right? Whenever I'm doing something for my employer, we always make sure the audio is good. We always make sure there's lighting. We always make sure we have the fundamental production elements in place. And that's what I suggest for my students too, is just to think about this stuff. And if you do have any challenges or any questions, you can feel free to reach out to me, or I'm sure Sunny would be more than happy to share what she knows. So we both have a TV background, if you didn't realize that.
Absolutely.
And so after you get the gear, the next thing you want to do is plan your message, right? Prepare your message. And so that will be, it's a multi-step process, because you want to take a look at what else is out there online. So maybe you want to look at some other experts in your niche and see what kind of content they're creating, and then how you can differentiate your own content. And then you think about your audience, right? Who's your ideal person that you're trying to talk to? Like I know for Sunny, she's talking to communicators, people who want to be better on camera, right? So that's what her content is geared towards. Right. And then you have to think about how you're going to structure your video. So what's the beginning, middle, and end? So you got to plan all that out. And then once you have your message planned out, then all you got to do is practice, right? I think we're on step number 4 now. So then you practice your message, you practice, because practice leads to proficiency is what I say. I heard somebody say practice leads to profits if you're in the business world. But you got to practice, because if you don't practice, it's not going to be second nature to you. And you're going to practice both before you record, and also each time you record is really an example of practicing. So don't worry that you're not ready. I mean, once you practice a few times, maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5 times getting through your message, then just relax, which is my 5th step. Just relax. You got to take a deep breath and breathe out all that stress or anxiety. One time I was going live, and going live was really my big challenge when I was a news reporter, especially in the early days. And I was doing a morning show. I was working for the morning show doing a sports story, and the executive producer was in the booth, and she saw me start to get wound up she saw me start to freak out a little bit. She was like, "Look, Amani, just take 3 cleansing breaths. Just ease out that, relax, breathe out that stress and anxiety, and just do it." And so just whether you got to do some yoga, go for a walk in nature, take some breaths, just do something to take your mind off of your performance, something to just calm your mind a little bit. And then after that, number 6 is present your information, record, go live, whatever it is. Now, the thing is that the first or second time you do these steps, it might not seem natural. You might not seem comfortable. But if you get in the habit of regularly, like maybe once a week or a couple times a week, I had one student who went through my program when I think she was in your cohort. Her name is Misty Harris. Yeah. And she said, "Amani, if you can help me get comfortable on camera, I will sing your praise." And I didn't really know what, after someone goes through, as a student, you never know if they're going to take the information and run with it or not. Well, she ended up going live twice a week, and religiously, like she would go live twice a week, just like, and soon after that, I looked at her and I was like, wow, she's really just rocking it out, knocking out her lives now. And it got to the point where she's like an etiquette and parenting coach. There's some sort of TV show that ended up reaching out to her after watching her live videos and saying, "Hey, we want to talk to you about possibly being a commentator." Now, I'm not sure what came out of that opportunity, but that sort of speaks to the magic of video. If you put yourself out there, you never know who's going to see your content. You're never going to know who's going to be inspired to reach out to you. You never know who you're going to touch. So that's why I encourage everyone really to start making videos. And if you have challenges, I love for you. You can talk to me or talk to anyone. There are some different experts online, but I'd be more than happy to do a free call with you, even if you're looking at like an exploratory call to see if, we're a good fit to work together. So, yeah, that's my 6-part formula. Hopefully I didn't go through too quickly, but I'll remind you, the first step is commit. You got to gear up, plan your message, practice, relax, and present. Those are the 6 steps. And so if you're able to do that, you should be able to very quickly become camera confident.
I love it. And I also love taking your VideoFearless program. It encouraged me because even as a journalism educator, standing before students and one-on-one with clients, sometimes with social media, it's a different brand. It's a different animal, so to speak. And there's a part fear. It's like, who's going to watch me? Who's going to listen to me? But I've come to learn that even if no one's watching you on your live, someone may catch you on the replay. And you may, to the world, you may be one person, but to one person, you may be the world. And that may be the person that gets inspired, that gets motivated by you showing up. So thank you so much for sharing those tips about the Video Fearless program formula. And also what I loved about your program is that you had the closed Facebook group and you gave people that supportive environment to make their mistakes.
Definitely. And what you said was really interesting about if no one watches your live, because that's been a concern of people. What if nobody watches me? Who am I? The thing is with this technology now, I say that if you're able to touch one person with this online video technology, and I've never made a video that hasn't gotten any views, right? Mm-hmm. It might get like a few hundred views or just a few dozen views. But if you can reach one person remotely, right, who you're not able to meet with face to face through this technology, to me, that's worth it, because you never know who that one person will be. And I will also like to offer this for all your viewers. Mm-hmm. I will extend a free, actually I have a free video case study, a free video training that I'll offer to anyone who's interested. And you can find that by, the link is bit.ly. So go to www.bit.ly. It's the bit.ly short link, my video case study. And so I'm sure you'll create a graphic for it. But if anyone is interested, I have a free 20-minute training you can go through, sort of see my process, see some case studies. And this will really put you on the fast track to becoming camera confident and be able to attract people to you. Because at the end of the day, you want people to see you and be like, oh, I want to learn more about what they do, or I want to work with them, or I want to learn more from them, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's online video is really the way we do it these days, because we can't meet face to face. It's just the current climate that we live in right now, unfortunately, until this sort of pandemic washes over us. We sort of have to deal with making videos online, maybe creating a podcast, but you have to be a creator at the end of the day, because that's what's going to attract people to you, is by creating some form of media.
Yes, I'll ask you another question, but since you are already talking about how people can reach you, where can they go to get more information in general about Amani Channel and Vera?
Yeah, so I would say start with my Facebook group. It's called the Video Confidence Accelerator. So if you search Video Confidence Accelerator, or just look up Amani Channel on Facebook, I'm sure you'll find a link to it. That's a great place to interact, especially if you want to learn about video production, learn about messaging, learn about communicating via video. If you just want to get relaxed, if you just want to ease your mind, if you have some sort of resistance about sharing a message, if you're introverted, because believe it or not, I'm an introvert. A true introvert. Like, I love working from home right now because you don't have to deal with a whole bunch of other people.
Yeah. I think I'm an extroverted introvert myself. That's what I think. So yeah, this is a great way to do it. It's easy. I think it's easier to record, but when you do it live, that's the big test, because it's almost like, okay, you make a mistake, you just keep on going. But then that's what helps you get better. After a while, you understand and you embrace that fear instead of being held back by that fear. And I know that's what your course had offered. So I know that I will put the information in our Rise and Shine Facebook page, as well as during this show, we'll put up some links for you. And the other thing I wanted to ask you was, what's next for you in this uncertain time and social distancing? How are you rebranding or recreating yourself? What have you had to do in response to the pandemic?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about different ways to create different streams of income. So I started actually creating T-shirts. There's different print on demand suppliers online, like Teespring. I don't know if any of you folks are interested in that sort of area, but print on demand. You got to create multiple streams these days, because nothing is certain. So aside from my coaching, I'm just thinking about ways to kind of diversify, create different streams of income, and then of course doing a little bit of introspection. Trying to be a better person, right? Because I think this is a time where as a person, we can all sort of better ourselves. So I do a little meditation, do some affirmations, keep myself in a positive mind state, because it's easy to get distracted or to watch the media and be a low vibrational state. But it's really important to stay positive, to keep yourself in a sort of enlightened ideas about what's coming, because I feel like better things are coming at the other side of this.
That's right. I agree with you wholeheartedly. So this is the time that you don't have to just think about, well, how are you going to come back? But you can create your comeback. You can create, you can reimagine what your future looks like. This is the best time as any to do that. So thanks for sharing so much. Is there anything else that you'd like to add, just in terms of leaving us with something positive, a quote or some advice for these entrepreneurs, speakers, and rising leaders?
Just don't be afraid to put your voice out there. Our voice is very powerful. It's just a spiritual connection to your voice, right? So if you are having challenges, just, you got to get started. The biggest thing is that action conquers fear. Remember that. If you are challenged, if you have some reservations about putting yourself out there, if you're super critical, just remember that action will conquer your fear. And then you realize, hey, it's not such a big deal. Like sharing my message, I didn't know that people are going to receive me so well. You'll be surprised once you put yourself out there.
Thank you, my friend Amani Chano, Video Fearless, camera confidence, and all that and more.
Take care.
Thanks, Amani. That's all the time we have on this edition of Rise and Shine with Dr. Sunny. Again, thank you to my guest Amani Chano for sharing how you can learn to be confident on camera and video fearless. And how would you like some help to become a better presenter, whether your audience is online or face-to-face? I'm so excited to announce the start of my free monthly Speak and Shine workshop. I'll help you unleash your inner speaking superpowers, some you didn't know you had. Spots are limited. To sign up, go to my Facebook page, facebook.com/I Rise and Shine. If you're not on social media, you can go to my website, sunnyfridge.com. There, you can also find links to all my shows and podcasts. Thank you for watching or listening. Together, we can rise and shine and connect with the audience we are called to serve. I'm Dr. Sunny. Remember, it's your time to rise and shine.